And welcome back for Marble Zone with Sonic the Hedgehog with Konisbored. So Marble Zone is after Green Hill Zone, it's it's actually kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. When I first played Sonic, this game, this zone kind of made me rage immensely. But it's because Marble Zone is pretty different from Green Hill Zone. Instead of focusing on speed, it is a pure platforming stage, and I know people who played the original Sonic the Hedgehog who was like, oh my god, this zone sucks so hard. There's a well-known Sonic Let's Player, Sonic Mega Man Let's Player by the name of Clement. He actually mentioned that if you can't get past the second zone of a Sonic game and still enjoy it, then that's when you should put down the game. I don't particularly agree with that sentiment. I mean, I agree with it halfway, but my sentiment is when you master the second zone of a classic 2D Sonic game is when you enjoy the game. Because how would I say this? Oh, wow, that was a horrible ball shot. Horrible ball shot on my end. The second zone of classic Sonic games all have quite nasty difficulty spikes actually. For example, there's Marble Zone in this, there's Chemical Plant Act 2 in Sonic 2, there's Hydro City Zone in Sonic 3, and there's a Flying Battery Zone in Sonic and Knuckles. They are all... what's the word? They're all what I consider a bit more... they're what I consider to be more platform heavy based in Sonic. So my sentiment is when you master those stages, that's when you learn to enjoy the rest of the game. So yes, that's that. My sentiment is when you learn to master a stage, the second stage of a classic Genesis Sonic game, that's when you enjoy the game. Because these games are actually very replayable. This game is pretty short. It's about an hour to an hour and a half if you're going for all the Chaos Emeralds. It's pretty short, yeah. I'm not going for all the Chaos Emeralds, I'm not that insane. You don't even get a really good reward for doing so in this game. If you collect 50 rings in the special stage, you get a continue, which is actually really handy because continues are actually pretty hard to get in the original Sonic game. In Sonic 2 onwards, it's a bit easier, like you get about a couple hundred rings in a level. I think they'll give you a continue. Extra lives are also kind of hard to get in the first Sonic game because there is no 50,000, there's no... oh man, the momentum there. There's no 50,000 point bonus. 50,000 points equals extra life like in the later games, so it's pretty harsh. I told you I suck at these, right? Okay, anyway, back to the story. When you master the second stage of a classic Sonic game, that's when I find you'll enjoy the game because many people put down their game at Marble Zone because, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty hard. It has a lot of platforming sections, lava, those caterkillers. I don't think I mentioned them yet, right? The caterkillers. That's these enemies. Their hits are vulnerable. They are the worst, one of the worst enemies in the entire game. They actually reappear for the final stage of the game, Scrap Brain Zone. That's how annoying those guys are. So yeah, Marble Zone, many people put down their game at Marble Zone. It's pretty slow, pretty platform heavy. Again, my sentiment is when you learn to master the... oh man, you stupid bat. God damn the bats. When you learn to master the second stage of a classic Sonic game, that's when you enjoy it. But yeah, because if you don't, the rest of the game actually is pretty... okay, I'm speaking from personal experience. I played almost all of the classic Mega Drive Sonic games. And I've replayed them death to death, time and time again. I've only truly enjoyed the game when I mastered their respective second stage, like as I've mentioned. Oh dude. Oh wow. When I mastered their respective second stage, when see, I lost my train of thought. Because that's what I get for commentating over this. Because it's actually quite tough. Hydro City Act Chemical Plant Act 2 was a huge difficulty spike. That stupid water section comes to mind, whatever. It's sort of like Super Metroid in the sense that you can sequence break and go fast once you know the level design, because the level design in the 2D Sonic games are actually pretty varied, so there's that. It's a game that lends itself on replayability, that's what I'm trying to say. Also, since I haven't played this game in ages, I actually died in Marble Zone. I would prefer not to. I mean, lives are actually very scarce in the game. Also, you can get crushed there, just saying. Lives are very scarce in this game, so I would prefer not to. Okay, let's actually do this right this time. This is actually a very easy section. I don't know why I botched that up majorly the last time. Just run to the right. Okay, we have some caterpillars here, and a spring. Do not get hit by that unless you want to get propelled back into the lava. Alright, we have here's Marble Zone Act 2. It's a pretty long stage. It's actually longer than I thought, because the game actually tricks you into thinking the stage is done about halfway, but... And I have gotten tricked by that before. So over here we have another slow-moving section. Okay, I know many people hate Marble Zone. I'm sort of indifferent with it. It's not the worst zone in the game. It could be better, but in my mind I'm just like, oh, it's that zone. It's the second zone. It's the one with all the lava and everything. So here we have an hidden extra life. The only problem with this hidden extra life is that you have to go all the way back once you got it. It's like irritating. So this game, and especially this zone actually, this zone has earned the era of many people kinda unfairly. Its tune is actually really nice. I don't think I mentioned, but the music in 2D Sonic games are actually 2D and 3D Sonic games are great. Again, as I mentioned, the reason I didn't want to play a 2D or 3D Sonic game up to this point is because the learning curve is, as I mentioned, pretty tough. There are many tricks to sequence break and stuff, and I'm not really the best at them, and I look at people who are like, hey, I can beat Emerald Hill Act 1 in 19 seconds, and that's the world record, and I'm like, oh my god, you are amazing. I also see people like sequence break in the 3D Sonic games, like, I don't know what, they glitch in Generations or spin dash jumps in Sonic Adventure. I'm like, are you guys human? So yeah, they have a very high learning curve, so that's why I refrained from playing Sonic games up to this point, but those stupid caterpillars. I think I already mentioned, but those guys suck, right? So yeah, that was the fake ending of Marble Zone. You thought it was over the moment you went back out. Actually, there's more. I've gotten tricked by that countless times when I played through the game. Okay, I don't usually take this route. Actually, normally what happens is I get the invincibility on the lower right. See, I'm not doing that well today. Oh, I hate those caterpillars so much. You can hold up or down to like scroll the screen up or down if you're like confused on where to go or something. Pretty useful. Yes, you can get crushed by those things. I almost thought I was going to. I believe it's the one on the right that actually crushes you. No, not really. There's one. There we go. That's the one I'm thinking of. And that was Marble Zone Act 2. It wasn't the best Act 2 I've done. Yeah, Marble Zone is actually kind of tough. In the original game, I mean in the original beta, Marble Zone was supposed to be the 5th zone in the game. That's why it's quite a fair bit of a difficulty spike from Green Hill Zone. That said, Labyrinth Zone was supposed to be the original 2nd zone of the game, so I am pretty glad they put Marble Zone instead of Labyrinth. If Labyrinth Zone was the 2nd zone of the game, I guarantee you, a lot more people would have never made it past this game. Also, I am not really doing the best today. I think because I'm recording, there is a bit of input lag, so that's not really helping, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, Marble Zone lags a fair bit. There's quite a lot of stuff on screen, actually. I do like the tune of Marble Zone, even if the rest of the zone is sort of bleh at best. Yeah, as I say, some people consider Sonic games easy because as long as you hold on to one ring, you can't die. The problem is, if you have no rings at all, then you are kind of dead, and the game actually gets pretty intense if that happens. Okay, so I gotta wait for this thing to appear. This is one of the more annoying jumps in the game, at least in Marble Zone. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a pretty well-known shortcut for an hidden extra life. I swear, almost everyone who played Marble Zone knows this shortcut. I don't know why. I mean, it's not the most obvious in the world. But, hey, I guess it's just well-known, I guess. Okay, Marble Zone X3 actually ends with a pretty tough segment. Over here, you don't want to fall down. If you fall down, backtracking all the way is, let's just say it's not fun. It's not fun. But it's actually pretty easy to fall down. It's sort of like a test, per se. It doesn't help that Sonic has knockback, so, if you get knocked back, it actually, it's pretty easy to get knocked back with your momentum pretty far. Kinda sad, actually. Okay, here we have the second, boss fight of the game. Honestly, this is easier than the Green Hill Zone boss fight. All he does is move left and right. Left and right! I'm not joking. Honestly, he's probably the easiest boss in the game, no lie. I guess they wanted to make up for the fact that Marble Zone was kinda hard, but still. Alright, that was Marble Zone. I didn't do that well at it. My performance, I actually died at Marble Zone, which was kinda sad, but what can I say? It's the second zone. Once you master it, you'll have a lot more fun replaying the game. Alright, and I'll see you guys for Spring Yard Zone.